Hello, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to the Haystack. It's been a few years since we talked about Tim Ballard. And I was giving him benefit of the doubt, right? But also leaving room that if he's guilty of something, that we at least have forgiveness and are, welcoming. That apparently wasn't strong enough for some people. Then other people were like, no, you can't come to his defense at all. Well, in 2023, he was excommunicated. He believes that he was wrongfully excommunicated, and that I believe is actually maybe the case, without knowing all the full details. However, he is coming out with more details, and has been posting on Facebook and social media, and letting everybody know. And yes, I get he's selling movies and things like that. And so there's a little bit of, well, what's he doing this for? A lot of people have accused him of attacking the brethren. However, I can't find anything where he's actually attacked the brethren on anything. In fact, what he stated is he and his wife fully sustained the 15 brethren. What he did not support are these middle managers, like Doug Anderson. It comes from a far more progressive Latter-day Saints. He even spoke about even his stake president. Now, I can get where he's coming from. Now, I've never had personal issues with any of my leaders. I know lots of people have. The thing I could relate to a little bit is I do have a stake leader here. I think he's a first or second counselor who during COVID was very, very much a get your mask on guy, very much get your jab guy, very much enforcing that and stating as if the prophet commanded it and that we have to do it. And how clear could it be? I didn't get it. No, I didn't get the jab. And recently we had a priesthood conference. I went to it and listened, and gosh, his talk was being quick to adhere, quick to listen, quick to follow through, being quick to be faithful. That was basically his theme. And then he shared examples about how a brother was quick to be obedient and shaved for a calling that he was told he didn't. It's up to him. He makes his own decision, which most people will always shave. Even I shaved for a calling. When I was in a particular calling, I shaved. So it's as you don't throw those. But then he goes on to say, well, that brother ended up not getting to serve in that calling because of the COVID shutdown. Then he shares an example about being quick to observe. That's what it was, quick to observe. About how one of the apostles, one of the brethren were coming down, and they're at a distance and took off their mask and was talking. And so he figured, well, okay, I think it's safe for us to take off our masks. But then he saw one other brother, another stake leader, say, brothers, I think we should leave the masks on. He did it with the spirit voice. Oh, we should leave the masks on. Hey, maybe they needed to. But then he used that as an example of being quick to observe. I'm like, okay, this must have some crazy result. Like we found out that one of them was sick or something. No, there was no testifying of Jesus Christ. There was nothing like that. It was just, they were quick to listen to me. And that basically, I kept hearing, oh, they're quick to be obedient to me. And there was no result in the end saying, oh, someone's testimony grew in Jesus Christ, or we found out it was actually a miraculous thing because somebody was sick. It was just, no. Let me bury my testimony about wearing masks and being quick to observe and do that. Just cause. That, obviously, I did not feel any spirit. I did not feel any testimony. I did not feel uplifted. I did not feel edified. I did not feel taught, but I was looking for it. I was looking for it. Like I get there's many examples of being quick to observe, but this kind of just didn't go anywhere. So that's my example of where I may disagree with a stake leader on something. That's the closest, I can relate to that. And that was just a couple weeks ago. Anyways, Tim Ballard. So he's come out naming names, people like Doug Anderson, spokesman for the church, very progressive people. And Tim has been getting attacked by, there's a very progressive academic Latter-day Saints that are coming down hard on him. And there's no mercy or forgiveness or anything on their part. They're definitely ideologically driven. And to be fair, so is Tim. So are all of us, but they have a far more progressive outlook. Now, he does sustain the 12. So these false claims that he doesn't and that he's attacking them I think is wrong. I haven't seen evidence of that. Just that. Did you hear that he did that? And gosh, my goodness, how people gossiped of he must be bad because he was excommunicated. All these Christians are coming to the rescue saying, oh, the best thing that could have ever happened to you is that you were excommunicated from this false church. Now that you could find Jesus finally. He's not liking those comments. But they're trying to offer a hand to him where there's so many Latter-day Saints that were, many progressive Latter-day Saints that were, I can't believe anybody listens to this guy. Like, look, nobody in the world endorses everything another person says 100%, besides Jesus. So obviously there's things that everyone disagrees with. I think that's a ridiculous thing to have to preface every time is, I don't agree with this or this. Nobody agrees with everything. But to come down harshly against him as being an evil person without having evidence of anything, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Especially when it fails in court. This is what Christians did and do against Joseph Smith. They say, oh, he was convicted of all these crimes. He's a felon. He's a con artist. He was never convicted of anything. Because when it came down to evidence, it failed. The reason I've been sympathetic towards Tim is because I've experienced this in my law enforcement career, where I was accused of something that I never did. And I'm like, there's no proof of it. It's just a wild accusation. And it's not even against policy. So what does it even matter? And so I knew that they were looking for reasons to get rid of me. And I proved in a court of appeals that I was, clean hands, did not do anything wrong, did not break policy, did not break any rules whatsoever. But some progressive people just didn't like it, didn't like my existence. And so they made things more difficult. They gave me more things, more like I handled more specialty cases and programs than any other parole officer in the state of Idaho at a single time. And they're trying to bury me with work so that I could slip up. But it didn't work because things were working out very well. So they just had to come down and just, well, we didn't like something you did in your private life on social media. So you're gone. That has nothing relate, and you can't even apply that to the rest of your people, even your own supervisors. Like, I even asked permission to be involved with the GOP before getting involved through HR, and they commended me for reaching out and being working closely with the public. Anyways, this is about Tim Ballard. So this is why I give him the benefit of the doubt, is because it gets filtered through middle managers who are acclimated to the ways of the world. And they're very comfortable. Not too hard for them to acclimate to the ways of the world and to fit in. And to contrast that with anything else is peculiar. They choose not to be peculiar. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity to not condemn people without evidence, without knowledge. In his post, he was saying, I don't believe the brethren ever saw, his letter that he wrote or whatever it was, that it got filtered through certain progressive leadership that are not, that kind of put the hold on things. And I know that's often how it is. There's lots of people with very impressive resumes who are closely associated with powerful or important or intriguing people. And often their word becomes the new narrative. So one side of the story never gets heard, ever. That happens often. It happened when I appealed to court and I said, did you see what my own local judge said about my character? I mean, most law enforcement officers work an entire career without getting an endorsement from a judge about their character. I had one. And this judge was pleading to my supervisors, do not get rid of this guy. We need him. But I was not allowed to talk about it. I was not allowed to talk about anything. So I couldn't even tell or clear the air of anything. So a lot of people get upset about his ambiguity. But the thing is a lot of times we can't talk about things. We're not allowed to. We have a gag order. You can't talk about something that would clear the air completely. They don't like that. And makes me very upset. All right, I'm gonna go to the rescue over here. Guys, take care.